Friend, if you want to be the kind of man a woman will never leave, then you need to become the kind of man who draws her in, not with pressure, not with games, but with a presence so grounded, so captivating, friend, so clear in its purpose, that walking away from you would feel like walking away from her own soul. There's a difference between being attractive and being magnetic. Friend, attraction fades when it's built on surface things, your looks, your money, your charm. But magnetism, that's different. It pulls her without force, it anchors her without fear. Friend, it holds her attention not because you chase her, because you chase growth. Friend, because you're so locked into becoming the highest version of yourself that she doesn't just want to be near you, she feels safe becoming her best around you. A magnetic man doesn't beg, he doesn't convince. Friend, he doesn't perform, he simply is. He walks in the room, and without saying a word, his energy speaks. It says, I know who I am. It says, I've done the work. It says, I'm not here to fill a void, friend. I'm here to add value. He doesn't manipulate her emotions. He regulates his own. He doesn't dominate her spirit. He honors it. Friend, he doesn't obsess over her. He invests in himself so deeply that she sees in him a man worth standing beside, not out of need, but out of deep respect. You see, women don't leave men who are magnetic, friend, because those men don't operate from desperation. They operate from purpose. They don't try to impress with loud gestures. They impress with consistency. They listen more than they speak. Friend, they see her, not just her body, not just her beauty, but her brilliance, her layers, her story. A magnetic man creates space for a woman to be both strong and soft. Friend, he's not intimidated by her power. He celebrates it. He's not threatened by her independence. He encourages it. And in doing so, he becomes unforgettable. Because here's the truth, friend. Women don't leave men who make them feel seen, not watched, not used, seen. And being magnetic means you've mastered the art of presence. You're not distracted by every shiny thing that walks by. Friend, you're not scrolling through options when the one in front of you deserves your full attention. Magnetism is built in the quiet moments, in how you respond when she's overwhelmed. Friend, in how you hold her when she doubts herself, in how you respect her when she's not in the mood to perform. It's in your steadiness, not your seduction, in your intention, not just your attention. Friend, the magnetic man knows how to lead, but he doesn't control. He's assertive, not aggressive. He has standards, not ultimatums. He values peace over ego, purpose over pride, and connection over control. Friend, he's not afraid of commitment. He's afraid of wasting potential in himself and in others. To be magnetic, you must first learn how to sit with your own pain. Because until you can handle your own darkness, friend, you will always fear hers. And when she shows you her shadows, you'll either shame her or run. But when you've done your own inner work, her vulnerability won't scare you. It'll inspire you. Friend, because you know what it took for her to open up like that. And you'll treat her openness like gold. A woman will never leave a man who makes her feel emotionally safe. That doesn't mean you never disagree. Friend, that doesn't mean there aren't rough patches. It means that in the middle of the storm, she knows you won't abandon her. She knows you won't weaponize her wounds. She knows that even when she's hard to love, friend, you will remain soft enough to listen. The magnetic man isn't perfect, he's present. He's aware of his flaws, but he's not defined by them. He's grounded. He's humble enough to apologize. Friend, strong enough to set boundaries, and wise enough to know that love isn't possession. It's partnership. You don't need to be rich to be magnetic. You need to be rich in spirit, rich in character, friend, rich in your ability to make people feel held without having to hold them too tightly. You need to master your energy so well that even your silence says, friend, I got you. Not because you're trying to win her over, but because that's who you are. Magnetism is not about pleasing every woman, friend. It's about being so unapologetically yourself that the right woman can't help but lean in. You don't chase, you attract. You don't beg for loyalty. You embody it, and the woman who values depth, truth, friend, and devotion, she won't walk away from that. Not because she can't, but because she knows how rare it is. The world is full of men trying to be liked. Few are bold enough to be respected. Friend, the magnetic man chooses respect. He doesn't perform for applause. He builds himself in silence so that when he speaks, people listen. So that when he loves, it's felt deeply. Friend, he doesn't lose himself in relationships. He brings himself more fully into them. He knows his mission. He has his own life. And because of that, when a woman joins him, friend, it's not a rescue, it's a merging of two complete souls. To become magnetic, you need to master your habits. Wake up early, move your body, keep your word, follow through on your goals. Friend, even when no one is watching, speak with intention, lead with vision, treat people with kindness, not just the ones who can offer you something, but the ones who can't give you anything but honesty. Friend, you need to know how to hold a conversation that stimulates her mind, how to sit in silence without making it awkward, how to touch her without taking, how to speak to her without controlling. Friend, how to challenge her without belittling, and most of all, how to love her without losing yourself. When you become that man, Friend, you don't fear losing her because you're too focused on becoming someone worth staying with. You're too invested in becoming the kind of man who doesn't just make a woman feel wanted, friend, but makes her feel chosen. And when you reach that level, you realize the secret isn't in being the best man in the room. It's in being the most rooted man in your truth, because that truth radiates. Friend, that truth draws her in. That truth makes her feel like she's home. So if you want to be the man a woman will never leave, don't ask how to make her stay, friend. Ask how to become the kind of man she wouldn't even want to walk away from. Because when a woman finds peace in your presence, she doesn't seek escape, she seeks more. Become that peace. Friend, become that stillness in the chaos, become that strength in the storm, become so magnetic in your purpose, so powerful in your presence, so pure in your intentions. Friend, that she doesn't just want to stay, she wants to grow with you, build with you, evolve with you. That's how you keep her. Not with pressure, not with promises, but with presence, with purpose. Friend, with the kind of energy that can't be faked, the kind of love that can't be shaken, and the kind of manhood that can't be replaced. She doesn't stay because you control her. Friend, she stays because she chooses you again and again in moments both high and hollow. And she chooses you not for what you give her, but for who you are in your core. Friend, because the kind of man she can't leave is the one who knows how to hold space without filling it with insecurity. He doesn't need to be everything to her because he's already everything to himself. Friend, being magnetic isn't about having it all figured out. It's about owning the journey. It's about the humility to admit when you're wrong, the confidence to take the lead when she needs direction. Friend, and the maturity to let her lead when it's her strength that's required. It's about dancing with balance between masculine stillness and emotional attunement. Friend, between being her protector and also being her equal. You don't become magnetic by demanding respect, you earn it. By how you carry yourself when no one's watching. Friend, by how you speak about her when she's not in the room. By how you honor the little things, the quiet things, the things that don't make it to Instagram but build the foundation of trust and devotion. She watches. Friend, not just what you say but how you show up. And when she sees consistency, she feels safety. When she feels safety, she softens. And when she softens, she opens. Not just her heart but her soul. The truth is, friend, a woman wants to feel your presence more than your words. She listens for your energy long before she listens to your sentences. She can feel when you're centered. She can sense when you're grounded, friend, and she knows when you're living in integrity with yourself because it reflects in how you treat her, how you react under pressure, how you recover from setbacks, and how you rise after being knocked down. Friend, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be honest. Honest about your wounds. Honest about your fears. Honest about what you want and what you're still figuring out. Friend, a woman can fall in love with your scars when you wear them with humility, but she will walk away from your mask no matter how attractive it is, because the magnet doesn't attract by being flashy. Friend, it attracts by being real. Magnetic energy isn't loud, it's not arrogant, it doesn't overcompensate. It just is. It speaks through the way you enter a room and remain calm when chaos hits. Friend, through the way you don't get rattled by her emotions but lean in and listen. Through the way you stay steady when she feels unsteady and hold her not to fix her, but to remind her she's safe. Friend, she will never forget the man who knew how to see her storm and still stay standing. The man who didn't shrink when her emotions swelled. The man who could sit in silence without discomfort. Friend, who could meet her tears not with fear but with open arms, because you're not trying to control the relationship, you're cultivating it. You're growing it like a garden. You water it daily. Friend, you're present even when the soil looks dry, and you trust that the seeds you planted will grow because you've shown up with patience and discipline. That's what makes you magnetic. Not a six-pack, friend, not a bank account, but a spirit that refuses to flee when things aren't easy, a heart that doesn't withhold love as punishment, a mind that knows how to hold boundaries without building walls. Friend, a soul that's committed to becoming more, not just for her, but for yourself. You must learn to be magnetic in your mission first, because when a man is locked into his calling, friend, he carries a gravitational pull that's impossible to fake. He doesn't chase meaning, he creates it. He doesn't beg for attention, he draws it, because he's so focused on evolving that everything else, women, friend, opportunities, respect, naturally begins to orbit around him. He's not afraid to stand alone. In fact, he prefers solitude to shallow company. Friend, because the man who knows his worth doesn't fear absence. He knows what he carries. And when you know what you bring to the table, you stop chasing people who don't know how to eat. Friend, you become magnetic to those who are nourished by your energy, not drained by it. That's what keeps her. Your energy, your presence, your ability to remain whole in a world that profits from people feeling broken. Friend, and when you give her that, she doesn't have to chase security. She can rest in it. She doesn't have to fight for your attention. She feels it. Friend, and she doesn't have to beg for emotional availability because you've already done the work to make space for her. She will never leave a man who allows her to be her full self, the wild, the sacred, the complex, friend, the evolving. When she senses that she can be all that she is without editing herself to keep your love, she blooms. And a blooming woman will never run from the man who watered her. Friend, the magnetic man knows when to speak and when to hold silence. He understands the balance between passion and peace. He doesn't need to dominate every conversation or win every argument. Friend, his power is not in control, it's in calm. His strength is not in volume, it's in vision. He sees beyond the moment. He doesn't throw away a good thing because of one bad day. He builds slowly, steadily, friend, unshakably. And that consistency, that quiet leadership, that unspoken promise that I'm here and I'm not going anywhere, that's what keeps her. That's what roots her. That's what magnetizes her soul, friend, because deep down, every woman wants to know, can I trust you? Not just with my body, but with my story, with my fears, my dreams, with my chaos. Friend, can I hand you the most fragile parts of me and trust that you'll hold them with care, not crush them under your ego? A magnetic man answers that question not with poetry, but with presence. Friend, not with loud declarations, but with gentle, unwavering devotion. He's the man who remembers her favorite tea, even when she never said it twice. The man who notices the shift in her eyes before she even speaks. Friend, the man who holds her tighter on the days she pretends she's fine. The man who shows up, not just when it's easy, but when it's inconvenient. You don't earn that kind of energy from a course. Friend, you cultivate it through self-respect, through discipline, through inner stillness. You learn to quiet your own mind so you can hear hers. Friend, you develop the kind of emotional intelligence that allows you to recognize when she's pulling back. And instead of reacting, you respond with compassion, with curiosity, with the confidence that says, friend, whatever this is, we'll face it together. That's magnetism. That's what a woman can't walk away from. And here's the truth most won't tell you: when a woman leaves, it's rarely about the big things. Friend, it's about the slow erosion of presence. The way your eyes stopped lighting up when she walked in the room. The way you started hearing her words but stopped listening to her heart. Friend, the way you were physically near but emotionally absent. The way you slowly started loving her in autopilot mode, forgetting that real love is always intentional. A woman doesn't walk away because of the lack of love. Friend, she walks because she can't feel it anymore, because the connection that once felt like gravity now feels like a burden. Because the man who once saw her as a queen now sees her as an obligation. Friend, but the magnetic man doesn't let it get that far, because he stays awake in his love. He doesn't just commit on paper, he commits in presence, in passion, in patience. Friend, he doesn't need to be reminded of her value. He reflects it back to her daily. And because of that, she doesn't question whether she's wanted. She knows, friend. And when a woman knows she's wanted, without manipulation, without games, without power plays, she won't leave. Because she sees what she has. She feels it in her bones. Friend, she carries your love like a sacred garment, woven in truth, wrapped in respect, sealed with devotion. Be that man. Friend, be the man who creates such powerful inner gravity that a good woman doesn't just want to stay, she wants to build. She wants to invest. She wants to become more beside you. Friend, because being next to you doesn't feel like confinement. It feels like liberation. When you're magnetic, you don't hold her down, you lift her up. And in that elevation, you both rise together. Stronger. Friend. Unbreakable. And that is the kind of love no woman will ever want to leave. So if you truly want to be the man a woman will never leave, stop focusing on keeping her and start focusing on keeping yourself rooted, friend, whole and aligned. Because when your energy speaks louder than your words, when your presence is steady, when your heart is open without losing your backbone, she won't leave. Not because she needs to stay, friend, but because being with you feels like home, a place of peace, a place of passion, a place where love isn't earned through pressure, but effortlessly drawn through purpose. Be that magnet. And she'll stay, friend, not because she has to, because there's nowhere else she'd rather be. So when you stop contacting her, understand, what you thought would leave her empty only made her full. Friend, what you assumed would break her only built her. And what you believed would silence her only deepened her voice. She didn't collapse in your absence. She expanded, she rose, she remembered. Friend, and in the sacred stillness you left behind, she rediscovered the most powerful love of all, the one she gives